You're listening to The Lyndia Grant Show. Think on these things with Lyndia Grant.
Well, good evening, Radio 1 listeners. It's good to be here with you again this afternoon. One of the most beautiful days we've had in a long time, so I'm so happy. Even some of the smoke from the west has kind of cleared out a little bit. So beautiful weather out here today. So today is Friday. We've got an exciting show planned for you. Our guest is Dr. Darlene Ruffin Alexandra Brooks. She's my soror from Gamma Phi Delta Sorority Incorporated, a 78-year-old business and professional sorority. We're going to be talking about mental health. Dr. Brooks is a native Texan. She's now living in Atlanta, Georgia, and she's a graduate of LaSalle University with her Ph.D. in Health Services Management, and she's a minister. She has a D.D. in Divinity from Atlantic Coast Theological Seminary. She's a licensed nursing home administrator and certified nursing administrator. Welcome to our show today, Dr. Brooks. So glad to have you. She'd be on their calls with all the medical staff, including Dr. Fauci, to talk to us today. How you doing?
Good afternoon. Thank you so much for having me. I am excited to be here with you.
Well, we're glad to have you on. I want to also tell everyone that Dr. Julianne Malvo, who usually does our politics, had her mother's homegoing services today and yesterday. And then last week, she just was too much grief, and I understand. So she'll be back with us when she feels like it, you know. So I just want you all to keep her in prayer, keep her lifted up, because I know when you lose your mom, that's a very hard thing. I lost my mom 20 years ago, and some days it feels like it was just yesterday. But we're going to be talking to Dr. Darlene Alexander Brooks today about mental health. First of all, July is Mental Health Month. And so when I invited her to be my guest, I was so glad that she talked about mental health. And right now is a good time, I would say, because it's mental for all of us having had stayed in our house for a year and a half and, you know, come out when you can. You got to deal with masks. It's just so much that's going on that our parents and loved ones who've gone on before us would have never guessed this kind of stuff was going on. And it's hard for us to live with, but we have to do the best we can. It's all about mental health. So, Dr. Darlene, talk to us a little bit.
It's my pleasure to share with you some of the concerns and information as it relates to mental health. I am a frontline worker and have seen COVID and looked it straight in the face, and it has changed my whole disposition. One of the ways that it has changed my disposition, at first we had to learn how to stay at home. How many of you have stayed at home for 5 or 6 days, only going outside, not going to the store? I am sure that it did you just like it did me. I had to find a way to ensure that my mental health was sane. I was tired of watching television. I had called family and friends on the phone, but I still needed a challenge to keep me mentally clear. So I set up a schedule, and I still live by that schedule. There are certain things that I do in the morning when I get up to just refresh myself. One of the things that I found very helpful, especially with my mental health, was to call some of my older church members and talk to them and find out how they were doing. One of the ways that you know that your mental health is becoming effective is that you see and you feel disconnected. You feel tired in the morning, you feel tired at noonday, and you feel tired at night, and you're extremely rested. That means that your mental health has been affected. One of the things that we ought to encourage people to do and to know is to change the way they do their schedule. Get up and look out in the morning. Even if it's raining, get up and look outside and see what the Lord has prepared for us for that day. Change the way we do things. Don't just sit around and mope. Do some things that will encourage you to think. Don't watch TV all day. That's depressing. Maybe you can read a book, a short book, but read a book that is uplifting and enlightening. That way you keep your mind functioning, because if you don't keep your mind functioning, you start to get depressed. How many of you were depressed by May of last year? If you weren't, I don't know why you were not, because by May of last year, all of us had begun to have some mental capabilities that we didn't know that we even had. If you live in a house with someone else, you all need to understand what the boundaries are, what you're going to talk about, and be careful how you speak to each other. That, too, is very important. One of the other things, too, is that what you eat also affects your mental health. You can't, one of my friends says, I'm gaining weight. And I say, that's because you're eating. You don't have to eat because you're in the house. You eat because your body needs to sustain itself. But remember, what you eat is important. It can affect your mental health as well.
That's right, yes. When I went back to church, our first Sunday last week, it was one young lady. I know if I send her this show, she won't mind. She talked about everybody was dying. She had lost her job. She said the only thing I could do, Sister Grant, was my go-to was eat. So she just said she ate and she gained all that weight. I looked at her. I couldn't believe how she had done that. So, but I know that we have to have better self-control than to allow ourselves to just sit there and eat, because we won't be in the house forever. We got to come back out again. If you live and take care of yourself, you're not going to just stay in the house and gain 100 pounds, 50 pounds, 40 pounds. No, don't do that.
One of the most important things that you should do to foster your mental health is, if you live in a neighborhood where you can walk around the block in the morning or walk around the block in the afternoon and just look and explore what is out there. What has God prepared for you to see this day? And allow yourself to take a deep breath and to refresh yourself by enjoying, sometimes even if it's drizzling rain, don't grab your umbrella. Just walk in the rain and be relaxed and encouraged. Mental health is very important. You can find yourself getting depressed. And what is depression? That is a part of your mental health status. You don't want to be depressed. There are some things that you can't do anything about. But one of the things I want to say, Sarah Grant, is that we as a people must understand that there are some rules and regulations in order to enhance our mental health. I realize that everybody does not wish to wear a mask, but if you don't wear a mask, guess where you will be? Your mental health will be compromised, your physical health will be compromised, and then you will be compromised as well. So I encourage you to wear your mask, stay your distance, and if you're watching the TV today, there are 4 states who has the new virus is going around, and it's worse than the original virus was. So we have to stay mentally clear so that we can know how to take care of ourselves. We have to eat, but we have to eat well. Do we eat 3 meals because we're at home all day? No. Maybe one of those meals can be a fruit. And maybe your meal should cut off at 5 o'clock rather than 7 o'clock. One of the most important things for us also to remember is that We have to take care of ourselves. If we find ourselves getting depressed, if we find ourselves crying, if we find ourselves slowing down, call somebody and talk to them. But don't call somebody who feels the same way that you do. Call someone that is uplifting, that can speak to you and help you clear your mental health. If each of you who live in a household are different, make sure that you share those differences because they will help you come through your mental health crisis.
And then before we go to our commercial break, I want to just remind the listeners that when you go outside and walk or take your exercise, it raises your endorphins in your body, which is like a happy gene. So we'll be back after our commercial break. Back in a moment.
She heard my cry for help. If my care coach at AmeriHealth didn't take the time to listen to me, I don't know where I'd be.
What was the turning point for you?
Well, before talking to my care coach, I didn't know that my health plan already had therapists to help me face my depression and anxiety. I had panic attacks all the time. I couldn't put it into words what I was feeling, so nobody could help me. I was just sad all the time. Hearing my care coach say the words, "You are not alone," gave me hope, and she was right. Because of her, now I have a therapist, medicine for my anxiety, and tools for managing my stress. When I didn't see my way out, she was there, and she's never left my side.
At AmeriHealth, you aren't alone. Our care coaches are here for you. Call us at 1-877-759-6224 to get connected. 1-877-759-6224. This program is funded in part by the government of the District of Columbia Department of Healthcare Finance. Mayor Muriel Bowser.
Washington and former religion columnist Lyndia Grant.
Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat on a segregated Montgomery bus. In lectures on brotherhood, Ms. Parks often said, "People always say that I didn't give up my seat because I was tired." But that wasn't true. I was not tired physically. I was not old. I was 42. No, the only tired I was tired of giving in. Driven out of Montgomery by harassment and death threats, Detroit, Michigan became her new home. Rosa Parks will always be remembered as the mother of the civil rights movement. Raised in the AME church, she once said, "I remember finding such comfort and peace while reading the Bible."
Read more in the religion column of the Washington Informer, an award-winning African-American newspaper. We don't report crime or gossip, just positive news. Pick up the Washington Informer or visit us online at washingtoninformer.com. Call 202-561-4100 for more information.
You're listening to the Lyndia Grant Show here on Radio 1 Spirit 1340. WYCB in the Washington, D.C. area. My guest today is Dr. Darlene Ruffin Alexander Brooks. She's out of Atlanta, Georgia, but she is a native of Texas. Dr. Darlene Ruffin Alexander, she specializes in nursing administration. She's an educator, administrator for various medical centers throughout the United States. She's been recognized by her peers as the Dean of Long-Term Care. She has written numerous policies and procedures to enhance the care of seniors. She served as director of the historical Meharry Medical College, Hubbard Hospital, adjunct professor, University of Houston, and the University of Texas. She has been in top leadership in various organizations, so her resume is too long, so I'm just going to give you a little bit of it. Atlanta Black Nurses Association, she is the founder and president emeritus. National Black Nurses Association, Sigma Theta Tau International, National Association of Health Services Executives, Top Ladies of Distinction, National Council of Negro Women, Gamma Phi Delta Sorority, NAACP, Associate Pastor at the Lindsay Street Baptist Church, and she's got numerous awards and honors. So we're talking to Dr. Darlene Ruffin Alexander during this month of July, which is Mental Health Month, and she's talking to all of us to give us some tips about how to better take care of ourselves while we're in the middle of a pandemic. We look like we were getting better, but we still got to endure a little longer. And so, Dr. Darlene, continue telling us things that can help us, please.
Be kind to yourself. Be kind to your mind. Don't stress yourself out because everybody else is stressed out. Design a plan for your life. Mental health problems are common, but right now, with the differences in COVID, with us being unable to go out and be as free-flowing as we would like to be, we have to find a way to cope with what is happening to us. Pause. Take a deep breath. See how you feel after you've done that. When is the last time that you filled the tub up with water and just got in the tub and relaxed? Most of us take showers. They're not relaxing at all. You want to get in the tub, take a bath, and then just sit back and relax. Take breaks from upsetting events, or try not to get into upsetting events if you can at all. Reach out and stay connected. Talk to your friends. Talk to your family. There's a great way for you to reconnect with your family. Healthy ways to cope with stress is by helping others as well. One of the things that you want to do is when you see yourself facing a challenge and that challenge becomes stressful and overwhelming, step back, take a deep breath, and listen at what your body is telling you. If your body is telling you to stop, stop. If you need a nap in the middle of the day, stop and take a nap. Learning to cope with stress is a healthy way, and it will make you and the people around you more radiant and more resilient. One of the things that happens, and I'm sure that it's happened to many of you during this time, a feeling of fear, anger, sadness. You're worried because you can't go to work. How are you going to pay your bills? Sometimes there's even numbness. Sometimes you just get frustrated because people are talking to you. Those are signs of mental health deterioration. Changes in your appetite. Eat foods that give you energy. Listen to others. Share with them some common goals that you have. Make sure that you understand what your body is saying to you. If you have difficult sleeping and you're having a nightmare, that is a sign that your mental health is not working well. Physical reactions such as a headache, body pain, stomach ache, and skin rashes all derive from what is going on in your mental health. Take an opportunity to read your body and listen to what your body is saying to you.
And Dr. Ruffin, I just want to say that they can also turn on YouTube and listen to, you can have church right in your home. I've been, one that I really enjoy, Metropolitan AME had some musicians that are playing this music entitled His Blood Never Loses His Power. If you go to YouTube and pull up Bishop, I can't think of his name, Metropolitan AME, and look for His Blood Never Loses His Power. It's the musician is playing the piano, but then a saxophone player comes up and helps. And I'm telling you, it feels like I was at church because we always used to have that music going during communion, and it's during their communion. But I just have to have church right here at my house. I turn on my TV, and my TV can get YouTube. Yours probably can too. Yeah. And you can just go from one gospel. You know, I got a playlist where they just take me sometime in the morning. I wake up to it, and I go to sleep on it at night, and sometimes pray all night long. So I just wanted to encourage people to also pray and stay close to God.
Right. One of the other things that I would like to share is I know every now and then some people take a drink of alcohol, and they say alcohol consumption has gone up 500% since COVID has come in. Alcohol does nothing but causes the body to deteriorate. Yes, your mind is quiet for the moment, but alcohol is not good for you, not unless it is in severe moderation. So stay away from alcohol. It is not a mental health therapy that you want to take. One of the other things that I want to share is people say, well, I haven't been sleeping. Well, you can't sleep half a day and then expect to sleep again at night. Maybe you want to change your routine. Maybe you take your shower in the morning and your bath at night. This helps to relax your body so that you can get sleep. Mental health can be tied to not getting enough sleep, and most people do not get enough sleep. So try and get some sleep. Take care of yourself. You can be better equipped to take care of yourselves and others during this time of social distancing, and it is especially important to stay connected with your friends and family. They can help you through your mental health crisis. Helping others cope with stress through phone calls or video chat can help you and your loved ones feel much better about yourself. And if you're feeling isolated, that too is a sign of your mental health deteriorating, and you don't want that to happen. Be sure that you understand that your mental health is more important than anybody else's. So sit back and relax and understand that you are the most important person to yourself. Eat right, get exercise, and I can tell you as a healthcare worker, COVID-19 has not gone away. Its first cousin is here, and it looks like we're going to be isolated again. Take care of yourself. Wear the mask. What is it hurting? If you don't have anything but a cloth mask, make sure that cloth mask is clean. One other way that you can help yourself, if you don't have any other masks, if you have some Kleenex, you can line that cloth mask with those Kleenex if you just have to go out. And I know you want to go out because you've been in the house for a long time. However, I would much rather you stay in the house than come out and catch COVID and we not be able to see you. So your mental health is important. You have to think, do I really want to go outside? What am I going to accomplish by going outside? And when I say outside, I'm not talking about just outside in your yard. If you can start a garden, you can start a flower bed, you can start a track team just around your house. But that, too, will help relieve some of the stress that causes mental health.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Darlene. We appreciate you so much for giving us these health tips. If you would like to get in contact with Dr. Darlene Ruffin Alexander, she can give you her contact information, and then we're going to go to our close.
You may contact me at Darlene618@Comcast.net.
Okay, so give them that again.
If you wish to reach out to me, you may email me at Darlene618@Comcast.net. If I don't answer you on the first call, I will return your call because your mental health is important to me.
Thank you so much. Next week, we have another health show. The Episcopal Church of the Atonement right here in Washington, D.C. is having a walkathon and a health and wellness fair coming up, and it's going to be held at RFK Stadium. The pastor is Reverend Richard Shepherd. They're going to be our guests next week. I'd like to ask you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Alicia, I hear echo. I don't know what you can do about it, but I hope it's not going to be. I can hear echo, please. Try Try to subscribe to my YouTube channel. You'll be able to hear a copy of today's show. Read a copy of my column in the Washington Informer newspaper. And if you have something of interest you'd like to have on it, call me at 240-602-6295. Join us at All Nations Baptist Church for our in-person worship service every Sunday at 11 a.m. We're at North Capitol and Rhode Island Avenue. Words, thoughts, and deeds have a boomerang effect, so be careful what you send out. Scripture says, my people perish for the lack of knowledge. So think on these things. From the Lyndia Grant Show, I'm your host, Lyndia Grant. Until next week, good day.
Thank you for listening to the Lyndia Grant Show. Think on these things with your host, Lyndia Grant.